I don't know if you guys can hear me yet, but how you doing? Just tab over here. How you guys doing today? I'm gonna be cameraless for these kinds of streams, or at least I'm gonna try it out today. I didn't have time to get my screen set up, and I've kind of been thinking about doing this anyway. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just hanging out. Just a lazy art day today, so. But yeah, I wanted to give this a try and see if I like this a little better. Don't have to have the hot lights on me and everything. Trying to locate this road between Middlemark and Dunedin. Interesting. Is that it gives the stream a weird feeling. It's been 30 minutes. I believe in you. You have hope. Am I creeping you out? Is it creeping you out, Benzagon? Would it help if I talked like this? Is this calming? I just have a feeling that it's not really necessary to have my face on the screen for this. It sounds Irish. It does sound kind of Irish. So you're playing GeoGuessr, Moody? Oh, I'm sorry, pimp. What the hell? I'm sorry to hear that. That something similar happened yesterday, right? Okay, trying to figure out where I'm starting here. So what I do know... Oh yeah, you'll notice that I cropped this to a square, because I do agree with you guys, and it felt like that the head was taking up too much space. But I didn't want to move him over, because I'd have to widen out the entire image, because that would change the perspective. So I decided not to do that. So it's a square now, and I think I'm okay with it. I was unsure when I did it originally. I knew that I was gonna have to come back and look at it, but I'm pretty happy with it. So we're gonna stick with that shape. I need to put GeoGuessr back on the schedule again. Yeah, exactly. It's the same but square. Just squarified. That's all. Other than that, it's identical. Okay. You know what I think we're gonna do? We're gonna do the shrubby base around the bottom of this stone. That's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna actually hide that stone. It is still in the right spot, right? Yes, okay. So I'm gonna hide that stone, and we're going to continue the same kind of business that we have going on behind Hornet, and do that over here. I did put Bastion on the schedule. Yeah, that looks really interesting to me. Yeah, I'm excited to play that one. I think it's gonna be fun, and I think that's how I'm gonna try stuff out from now on. Is I'll just put it on a day with Clash. That way, if it doesn't work out, or you know I can't get the game to work for some weird reason or something like that, we have a built-in backup plan that works every time and everybody has fun with. So that's how. Basically, if Bastion goes well, Clash will be brief, but there will be a Clash as well that day. Okay, so need to think back to how we set up the shrubs here. So let's get rid of everything that's noise right now that I don't want. We just want to focus on the shrubbery. I know you are, Benzagun. I know you are. Okay. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, I'm really interested in that, Moody. I read a little bit about how the narration works, and just kind of stopped myself because it sounds like it's going to be unique, and so I don't want it spoiled for me. But it sounds interesting. Yeah, Pimp hates Clash. We know Pimp really hates Community Clash. I'd like to work that back into more regular occurrence. I don't know if I'll commit to every single week because we have a lot of stuff that we can do now. So if I say every single week, that removes, you know, I already have Saturday committed to Whatcha-Dingy, and that would commit another day to Who's a What's It, and then where are we? We're the whole world's falling apart that way. Okay. So, we want to strip down these top layers, and we definitely don't want our lights on. Oh, that's... Where's that spatter? Oh, that's not spatter, it's holes. Interesting. Right? Isn't it? No, that's a brush. That's a brush. I got white spatter on there somehow. All the way behind the leaves. That's very bizarre. It's like a crime scene investigation. You scoured over most of Ireland and Scotland. Where else is there sheep and beautiful rolling hills? Sheep and beautiful rolling hills, but not Ireland and Scotland? New Zealand is a good guess. Yeah, New Zealand is a good guess. I'm still reflexively looking at the camera, even though it is not on. Yeah, New Zealand is a good guess. You could go maybe like Wales or something like that. That might be sheep. Parts of Wales. Okay. So first thing is Dunedin is like the second biggest city in New Zealand. Well, the point is you found it, right? Okay, so this base piece here is my three main... I just want to make sure it matches the swatches I'm looking at. Okay, so it's these three fuzzy guys right here. Not many whales in Wales. Yeah, no, they don't like to keep them there for some reason. They try to lay low, and that blows their cover. So, all right. So we're gonna make a new layer right here, and it should be in front of those shrubs because it's in front of those shrubs. So you know that kind of goes without saying. Wait, I dropped it into the folder. No, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Right there. Perfect. And this is going to be our new base layer. That got exciting. There we go. Well, that's probably the wrong word. $4,999 points. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Everything okay over there? Yeah. Something blow up?
No, it's all good.
Okay. So I think our very back layer is going to be this color here, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh yeah, it should be, because you can see how they're stacked. So I put this color down first. You missed the mole point. The mole point is crucial. You know, if you don't have the mole point, you might as well have not even tried. I think something fell onto the stovetop. Why can't I think of that word? Something fell onto the stovetop, and our stove is really rattly because it's one of those, you know, the metal coil stoves. It's not a it's an electric stove rather than a gas stove, so it's got the rattly jank ass metal coils. You know the kind I'm talking about. Okay, so then we had this color, and oh, I need the sketch on top. That's what's throwing me off here. So we need the sketch on top so that I can see the shapes. And then we can go through and add some of these other colors. So we want this one kind of in here and under there and a little bit like that. This location has a rooster walking in the street. Well, there are a lot of places in the United States that could be. But why, Moody? The important question is why. You find out why that rooster's crossing the road, you get back to me. Oh, that's probably not the right spot for that. That should probably go... And I'm doing all this on the same layer because this all gets blended together, by the way. So we're going to drop some of this in here. You think it's an African village? What kind of scenery are you getting? Other than the rooster? No, stop it, Austin. Stop putting it there. That's not where it goes. Okay. Oh, that one behind is, that's a stone. So let's... This, right behind the, previous ghost's head here is a stone. So I need to clear this out. Because that's not plant matter. All the fences are made of sticks, some buildings are clay, thatch roofs, sparse vegetation, dirt roads, and everyone walking around is black. Well, yeah, that would be... those are all some pretty good indicators of Africa. So, yeah. I'm inclined to think you might have a point there. Let's see. Okay, so I don't need to spend much time on this, but I just want to get this out of here, because if I don't clean this up, I'm going to forget that the bush doesn't go up here, and I'm just going to paint the bush. That's exactly what will happen. I'm certain of it. So, let's just avoid that now. Thank you.
Do you want these?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
It's just a little bit.
Okay. Thank you, Phoebe. We moved towards what seems to be a main street and jumped forward in time, and now all the roads are paved and there are brick fences. That's really cool. Because you'll see time jumps like that, but to see that amount of development is really cool. And encouraging to hear. A little bit of positivity. Yeah, I know, Benzagon. I had that same thought myself. If I don't forget to unmute my mic, I'm gonna have a problem. Or if I don't remember, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so I'm gonna really focus on that and try not to do that to you. I will do my absolute damnedest. Okay, what was the blender I was using? The Village Restaurant and Bar. That's crazy. Go from a literal village to the Village Restaurant and Bar. Impressionist Blender, I think, is the right one. That is the right one. So now we want to... Oh, is that the right one? For the actual base part? Let's look at this. Oh yeah, that's definitely the right brush. Okay, so I just need to... Looks like it's the right size. There's some sort of change that needs to be made to this blender. I think I need to space it out a little bit. I tend to do that. They always feel too dense to me. These pre-made brushes. So that's already pretty spaced, Austin. Let's space it out a little more though. There we go. Nice, 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 Austin. Killing it. Wait, if I click on that, I should get it back with the density that I had before. Excellent. Okay. So let's hide the sketch again and get that back. Then we're just gonna give this... Ooh, oh, that's how I got those splotches in there, is I pulled from the whiteness. Beware the whiteness. Okay, and I remember I had to blend out through the plant itself, and then to get the leafy edge I have to blend in from the outside. That's what gets me that leafy pattern. So I must have screwed up while I was doing that, and not noticed. That has to be how that happened. So just dibble dabble my way through here and get this all leafied up so that it doesn't look quite so phony. A little more convincing. Okay, I'm gonna turn my mic off for about a minute so that I can eat some crackers. So that's how you'll know that I forgot to turn my mic back on if that happens. But I won't forget, because I never forget anything. Moody, don't judge those donkeys just because they're trying to set up an apartment complex, okay? They're allowed to have a civilized life, too.
It's not on.
Yes, it is.
It is?
I'm smooth.
Why?
If it's blinking, that means it's muted.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, too much. So now we're going to go around the edge and texture the border. Which means I need the sketch so that I can see where everything is supposed to be. And we can push the plant in and out until it lines up where we want it. Moody, they have full satellite television setups. I guess you wouldn't need wires for that. That probably wasn't the best response. But I'm gonna stick with it. I mean, you need power, right? You could still have wires running in. seems to be cooperating with me here. I think what worked best on the other one was pushing it in and out a little bit until we got some random leaves poking around. But you'll notice that this doesn't look quite as good as it does with everything on, the previous bush I mean. And that's because some of the leaves that I painted, I went just a little bit outside the lines to give that effect. So I need to remember that this is not going to look perfect. Google blurred every single sign on the one big road. So this is an easy round. I think you've got this under control. Okay. I guess this doesn't really need to be tidy because it's behind the night. So we'll just ruffle this up a little bit. So if we hide the sketch layer now, yeah, that's looking better. I'm gonna go through and clean it a little bit because it's really messy. And there's just kind of this gray aura around the whole thing because, you know, it's a blender brush, so it is muddying up the white sections as I do this. But that will not be an issue at all as soon as we're moving on. The speed limit says 120. Yeah. What the crazy part is it means 120 times the speed of light. They're really fast there. You've made a significant time jump. These are actually Google Street View images from 250 years in the future. I feel like 250 years into the future is a little optimistic for being able to travel 120 times the speed of light. Just a little. Yeah, this doesn't feel ruffly enough. Ruffles have ridges. So let's push this up a little bit. Like that. Perfect. Okay. So if we look at our previous shrub, our next layer on top of that is our scratches, but I'm not actually going to do that layer yet. And what those scratches are kind of pretending to be is vines, basically. And you'll see that it's like really patchy. And it's because I basically did that to fill in where the leaves were. So we're going to copy that pattern again. First leaf color I did was that deep blue. This one here, it looks like. Yep, absolutely it is. Okay, so let's get the brush. Which this is going to take some thinking. I'm pretty sure it was the pastel. No? Maybe. Yeah, okay, so pastel is right. And then we need to go to the brush settings. And maybe if I just space this out, that's all you had to do. Is that it? Is that the secret? Oh, yes, okay. So I've spaced it out, so now you see the pastel leaves these little dotted lines, basically. So then what I do is I squish it and make those dotted lines, the shapes that it leaves behind, into ovals. So now it leaves those little leaf dots. And then we can leave leaves. And I think I said this last time, there is a leaf texture. I just don't like it. Like there's a brush that just does leaves. But I don't like that brush. I think it looks hokey. But if you like it, you should use it. That's just a personal preference thing. Oh, so I painted that on this layer, so let's make sure it's not still there. Okay, I did get rid of it. Okay, so we need a new leaf layer here. And we're just going to build up this shrub, and we'll have to do this a few times today, because we have a few shrubs going on. But what I did with this last time was I just kind of used this to emphasize the shadows, because this is our darkest leaf. Our other two are going to be much more standouty, if that's even a word. Thank you, Phoebe. But you can see here how you can use it to make the leaves pop out on the sides there. I'm not going to do that with this color, because those leaves will be out in the open, so it doesn't make sense for them to be very dark. But we can go through in the shadowiest portions of this shrub here and add in some dark leaves, just so that, you know. Oh, hey, Billy. I am making a Hollow Knight painting. Let me turn on the other layers here so you can see what it looks like really quick. This is what we've got so far. Except that tree is missing stuff also. There we go. That's a little better. So this is what we've got so far. So I'm going to be... Today is mostly pretty lazy day, just going through and filling in a lot of the other background shrubbery and stuff that's missing in the sketch. Or missing from the full painting, rather. So, just chipping away at it. How are you doing today? Okay. So I'm going to hide some of this other stuff, and I'm going to zoom in on this. Zoom back out a little bit, because that was too much. And right now I am working on the darkest leaves that'll be standing out in this shrub down here. Good, I'm glad to hear you're doing well. So I'm just filling it out. I think I'm just about done with these leaves. I don't want too many of them. They really shouldn't stand out, because it's gonna negatively impact the illusion. So, I have swatches for all of these leaf colors so that all my trees can match, and then I'm going to go through with the separate shrubs on separate layers so that I can have a little bit of color variation and do all my lighting and stuff like that. But in the first place, they have to match. So, it's going to look very solid. Oh, Moody, that is absolutely the best. Those are just the best kind of people. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I feel that pain. I've also been that guy, so I can't say that much. But, because I kind of suck. Okay, so these are kind of the mid-range, so they end up basically going across the whole thing. But I don't want them to be too prominent, because then we just kind of color it in. But I know I had a problem last time with it looking too empty. Like, we'd probably catch a little bit of light right there, and a little bit over in here. There's going to be something here, but I should still fill it in so that it doesn't look... He's going to look like he's got a highlight around him that way, which could be a cool effect, but is not what I'm going for right now. Can you have channel points? You can have channel points if you watch. You'll collect them right on up. I know this is not the most exciting day, but I like these days. They're fun little chill days for me. Let's see here. I may have overdone that, but I don't think so. I may have. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Well, and this also means that you can actually watch and look at the painting while I'm looking at, and I can get pointers from there too. Because Emily paints also. She does traditional painting, which I suck at, and she is very good at. I'm almost done with my lunch here, and then those interruptions will stop. Okay. So, we want these highlights, which I got pretty heavy-handed with on this one, but this one is kind of right, like in the context of the sketch. It's right front and center. The light's going to be coming right through that, this area off to the right where my swatches are stacked up. So it's going to be shooting right through here and hitting that pretty hard. This one, however, is kind of buried down here. Oh, wow, that took me way too long to realize. My leaves are too tiny. I was like, why is this so weird looking to me? Dummy. Look at how small those are compared to these. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Okay. Well, that sucks. Because that means I have to redo it. But I don't have to redo the base layer because that's totally fine. So I'm not going to get rid of those, but I'm going to hide them and try again. I'm not going to get rid of them because if... no reason to get rid of them until I'm happy with the replacement. You know what I mean? Okay, so I do need the darker color. The brush I'm using is the right brush. But we need to go back to the darker color. We need to zoom back in again. We need to hide the SWA sketch layer. Hide the SWA sketch layer, you know, that very popular layer. And then pop in on here. That's so weird, because they look... No, they don't. They don't look like they're the same size at all, Austin. What the hell are you talking about? Okay. So we need to scale up. That's what we gotta do. That is feeling closer. Something like that. That's about right. Yeah, I like those leaves. I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder. Yeah, that's too big, so we'll go back down one. Yeah, that feels a little better. I was wondering why this looked so weird to me. That was why. Now we know. The answers we've been seeking. We have them. Okay, so again, with the darker color more down low, we can do a speed round version of this. That's right, that was Donkey. Well, sort of. Wasn't a very good impression, but that was the line. Okay. I feel like I overdid that, but I always feel that way, so we're just going to move on. I always feel like I overdid it, and then it turns out that I underdid it. So, stay the course is the lesson here. Continue to victory. Yeah, so a little less of that color in there, a little more of it in here. This is the leaf texture that, or the leaf shade that is going to dominate this particular shrub, and most of them, because it's our neutral shade. Neutral is the wrong. It's not neutral, but it's the level of darkness that's between the two that I'm using primarily. So we're calling it a neutral. They are all kind of going the same direction on me here, which is miffing me a bit here, but it'll look fine after everything else comes in. It's looking very bushy. It's bushing right on up. Okay, so then we need one more layer. Thank you. And we want to grab this color, and let's see how this is looking. So we'll hit it. It's definitely going to be catching some light up in here, right? We'll get some high spots there. This is where things really start to pop, is when you drop in these high spots. Then it starts like showing up. But I need my sketch because I can't quite see. Yeah. Like maybe there, and then a little bit there. I'm not liking this one quite as much as his brother, but he's missing sparkles, so we'll, again, stay the course. Yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. You just managed to beat the Ender Dragon in your hardcore world? Dude, that's awesome. Congratulations. That is no small feat. And I've seen you try to fight the Ender Dragon, so I know how that went. Nice job, man. Good for you. Okay, I don't think I need to add any more than those. I think the next thing we're going to do is our Scratchy Layer. So that's going to be... that should be underneath all of our leaves, but above the base layer. And the texture we used for that... what brush did I use for the Scratchy Layer? Let's get that isolated so that I can look at it. Let's look at it nice and close. That's looking like a pastel to me. That's what that looks like to me. I probably should have written it down, but I don't plan ahead. The swatch layer alone is more planning than I ever do. Oh, I know what hardcore means, Benzagon. I know what hardcore means. That's that is very impressive. To get to that point with no deaths, I mean, that's... Are you playing on the Switch so you don't have the legitimate mode? Just scrolled past a town in Ecuador called Chimichanga. That's awesome. Okay. I'm gonna need the pastel for this, I think. Let's doodle next to this and see if we can get some information. I mean, yeah. I'm pretty confident in that. We need the right color, which appears to be... looks like I went with this one. This is a fun detective game I end up playing with myself because I don't write anything down. Austin tries to remember Austin's previous decisions. Yeah, that's looking promising. Phoebe, poop is not food. Please don't be like that. Okay. So then we need to space the brush out a little bit. Not quite that much. We don't want to lose the smooth line. There we go. But we do want to. We're finding it. We're finding it. Okay. So then I think we'll get a little bit closer on Java, but you originally just wanted the world to test your shaders and ended up playing on it a bunch. Well done. I mean, a victory's a victory, whether it was planned or not. Okay, and then what we need to do with this brush is bring the flow down a little bit more. Yeah, we're getting there. More still. Actually, no, we're going to leave that there. We're going to leave that there and scale it up a little bit. Just a smidgen. Yeah, something like that. That's looking pretty dang close, isn't it? I think we about found it. I think I lowered the flow too much, though. Maybe Maybe somewhere around, how about 65? I feel better about that. I know that's a very slight change, but I feel better about that. Okay, so now we're going to go down here. We are already on the scratch layer. I checked that. This is our new scratch layer. And then we can go through, and wherever it feels like there's not enough going on, you can kind of throw in some of these scratches that, ooh dear, not out there though, that will kind of look like vines deep underneath, and just add that much more. Yeah, see, because there's like nothing over here. There is nothing over here. I'm gonna need to paint more over the top of that. That's too much. And obviously these vines, quote unquote vines, clearly look like brush strokes. They don't blend into the illusion very well. It helps when I bring the opacity down, which is what's about to happen now. Like this. Oh, too much. Probably about 25. What'd I do on the last one? Is he alright?
Oh, I was just waiting him.
Oh, okay.
He's back up to weight.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he's good.
That's very good to hear. Scotty was underweight after the whole food change fiasco. That's good to hear that he's healthy again. Okay, I need to see the other shrub next to it so that I can judge myself a little more fairly here. So, don't want the god rays or the atmosphere. Do want the background though. Yeah, it's not quite having the heart that this one has, that the big one has. It's just looking a little more, I don't know, blah. I don't know how else to describe it. It's probably, it's the sparkles, isn't it? It's because it's missing the sparkles. And I hit some of those high spots a little better. So I might hit, I think that other one pops partially because it's catching so much more light. And I need to not ruin the logic of the image because I'm upset about this one not looking as sparkly. Sorry. Yeah, Benzagon, I think you hit the nail on the head. It needs the context of the whole painting. Okay. So that means we need to add our spatter now. So let's look at that brush. Now, fortunately, there are only two choices for this, and I didn't tweak it very much. So we go down to the, can you guys see that part when I do that? You can't. That's incredibly frustrating. Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. But I go down to the special effect brushes, and there are only, well, I guess there are 3 spatter brushes, but the top 2 are the ones that I used. There's one that's a little more sizable, like this. Let me add a layer here. So that one makes big splatters, and this one isn't quite as dense. I guess the splatters are kind of the same size though, aren't they? The other one's just denser. So maybe I only need the one, and I can just tweak the spacing on my own. I think that's how we're going to do this from now on to save time and energy. So, oh, I definitely have a, yeah, swatch for that. There's a swatch for that. So this one's going to be much heavier in this kind of, I guess, aqua color. Because that's supposed to be more prominent. Whoa, where things are dark. So I need to space this brush out a lot more, and we're gonna also bring down the flow. That's a feature that the flow control is a feature that is still relatively new to me, but I'm rapidly understanding the value. Because it creates more accurately the effect I'm trying to create when I bring the opacity down on the brush. Bring it. Okay. Yeah, and those are gonna look really aggressive because they are. But that'll get better in a second when we copy the layer style settings. So then we want this one, and for this one I made it a little bit bigger. Like just increase the actual brush size, and then we just kind of want to kiss the top of this here and here, and that's kind of it. And then I'm going to go through with the eraser. Thank you, Phoebe. And remove it where it's not supposed to be, both outside the edges of the bush but also within the bush, after I bring my opacity down. The eraser I still do by dropping the opacity, but maybe that's not the right thing to do. I don't know. It is what I do, though. Oh, that's on the other one. God, Austin, you are such an idiot. Alright, so we're going to bring that down. And then definitely don't want these down here, but we can just kind of not remove them, because in theory, like with my logic here, you know, these are little bioluminescent patches that are reacting to the different amounts of light. So they're still there, right? We don't want to remove them completely. We just want to kill them. That's all. Just make them much softer. There we go. And do the same thing with the blues as it gets up into the top, and actually kind of soften them all around anyway, because that blue really jams. Like it's a seriously poppy color. So I don't want to I don't want it to take over. This should be a gentle accent throughout the entire image, and you'll get the intensity of it from that. So it doesn't need to be aggressive within an individual shrub. So something a little more like that. I'm beginning to like this bush better. Surprise, surprise. Thank you, Phoebe. Is she molting?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that time of year, which for her is every 2 weeks. Alright, so I'm feeling better about this. The next piece we need to do is... Ah, yes, the layer style. That's right. Okay. So we're going to pop open our last one, and we're going to copy the layer style for the first one, which is should be the blue ones, which it is. So then we're going to go up to... It is so convenient that Photoshop lets you name things the same thing, but I was literally complaining about this in the last stream because it also makes things very confusing. So it's like I have mixed feelings about the fact that you can do that. And I know we're all very concerned about it. So we're going to go to lights 1, and then I am going to paste the layer style, which should give it that glow. Yeah, see the difference? There and there. Magical, boring. Fancy, paint. Look at that. Okay. It does make it look too dense, though. It definitely does that. So maybe if we get the layer style, we'll have to do some more erasing, I think, is what's going to happen here. So we're going to copy the layer style from this one, because I believe I didn't do the exact same effect on the yellow and the blue. So just to make sure, we're going to treat it like that's the case. Yeah, it's much subtler on the yellow. Much more subtle, rather. Okay, so then we're going to go into the blue light layer, which it should be more prominent here. So I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. I don't want to do this too much. But I also don't want it to take over the entire shrub, because then you kind of lose, like, it's not, all the other work that went into making the shrub kind of goes to waste, because it's just covered with bright blue sparkles, and it just loses some of the value of the image, in my opinion. Okay, that is feeling much closer to the other shrub. I feel a lot better about that. And like I said, these are all going to start blending into each other as we're placing them, but then we'll go through and do color correction and lighting and things like that to separate them from one another. So don't worry about that part, but you can already see where it meets the other one. They're blending together. But that does mean that I succeeded. The leaves are too small still, aren't they? I'm not going to change it, but we'll keep that in mind for next time. If it continues to bother me, I might change it later. But what I'm going to do for right now is cheat. And the way I'm going to do that is we're going to take the most noticeable color, which is that one, and we're going to get our leaf brush back. Nah, leaves are for the weak. They're stupid. No need for leaves. I'm going to make this entire painting without leaves. So, back to these leaves. Okay, that's about right. And then we want a squishy squashy. Almost. Rotate. Good. And then we're going to embiggen. So in order, which I probably should have done this in the first place, honestly, had varying sizes of leaves. But yeah, we're going to take this color, make sure we're on the correct layer, which should be leaves 2? Yes. No, this is the poppiest one, so we're on layer 9, which should be leaves 3. And we can actually delete. Yeah. We can delete these two. I know the nomenclature part is boring, but it's gotta happen. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna drop some bigger leaves in here. In fact, I think I'm gonna erase the brightest leaves. We'll just redo the brightest leaves, and then that'll fix the problem. Because then it will feel... Yeah, I scaled down That's kind of an illogical light catch there, but I'm gonna allow it because I think it's gonna add to it. That feels closer to me. That feels significantly closer to me. Hacks. We're hacking this painting. Okay, not going to do any more than that. I'm stopping myself. I'm cutting myself off there. We're going to move on. I have a lot of shrubs to do. And today is shrub day, so... I wanted to do a little one that was going to be partially covered to get myself back into the flow. So all those things that I noticed, we are going to try and avoid on the future shrubs. There we go. Lunch is done, and with that, the interruptions as well. Alright. So, next little patch that needs to be filled in is kind of back in here. But I'm actually going to take a quick little detour, and we're going to play around with how to make... I have to hide everything so you can see. Oh, actually, sorry. Before I do any of that, first things first. Let's group this. And we're going to call this path shrub 1. There we go. That'll work. Okay, so we can hide both of these now. I want to figure out how to do these hanging vines. Sorry, I just saw that, Moody. Twitter refused to give you back your account, so you just made a new one. What happened to the original? The gunk layer. What happened to the original account? Was this when somebody hacked your account and took the name from you, or that was... No, that was something else. I don't remember which account that was, but you told me about that. Okay. So we're going to put this just under the main sketch. And I'm going to actually hide the main sketch and my swatches. Not my swatches yet. I want this color here. Okay, now we can hide my swatches. And we are going to play around with some brushes to give us this vine effect that I'm looking for. So let's see what we can do. You got hacked and they sent out a Ray-Bans ad to everyone you follow and everyone that follows you, and then your account got banned for spam. Oh, good. That's excellent news. I'm sorry to hear that, man. We need something streaky, something smeary. Maybe the oil brush. I have a feeling the oil brush might be the right move. Because I think if I make it nice and big, just make it a nice big brush. Ooh. No, not quite feeling that. Okay. That's alright, we'll find it. It's just the first try. Thought we got lucky. Maybe I think I should stick with the pencil. This pencil's been doing a lot of good for me on this painting. So why don't we space this out a little bit? Not too much. I don't want to lose again the solidity of the line. So we want it to still feel whole. There we go. These are the same. This is the same brush head we used on the really large to make the metal effect. No, definitely not. This is the leaf one, by the way. So, you know, I don't really have much of a problem with it. It's just that it's too perfect, really, is kind of my issue with it. Because it's just like, it's like a little leaf stamp tool. You know what I mean? It's just, it's too... If I were to do something like this, I would make my own. I didn't mean to sign my name. No, I just squiggled. Did you want me to sign my name? There you go. I signed my name in leaves. Nah, I'm just doing this kind of stuff. Okay, but that's definitely not the brush we want for this. We want... Okay, that could be something if we mash it up together. It does look like rope. The important part of this is going to be the taper, which is going to be hard. I think if I increase the spacing, but also increase the flow, we can get something that's going to look a little more like what I want. There's a getting the right brush element to this, and there's a getting the execution right element to this that I gotta find the balance of here. Okay, well that's because I brought the spacing all the way down to 1. So let's try that again. Maybe 10%. How's 10% spacing? Okay, this is getting warmer. I don't want it to look too smooth. Okay, we're gonna bring the flow up a little bit, but I want it to look smoother than this. So, yeah, that's getting there. Sorry for the clacking shift key. I don't know, what are we feeling about that? Maybe if I do it more slowly, I can do it more accurately. I'm on the fence. It's probably too coarse. This is gonna be a tough one to figure out. Cause I want it to be smooth, right? But I don't want it to feel, like I say all the time, I don't want it to feel digital. Or at least I want to avoid that to the best of my ability in a digital painting. So this one works, but it needs lower flow. I like this brush better. I think this is what we're going to go with, because this gives me the imperfect edge that I wanted. So let's just sprinkle a few of these around and see how I feel about them. So we're going to turn the sketch back on. And I'm going to just drop some of these in. Oops. The nice thing is they're all hanging straight down. So, and they'll need a highlight on them also, which is going to be a pain in the ass, but that's fine. We'll get it done. Okay, and then in context, doorway shrub. Okay, you know what? I don't hate that. I don't hate that. That kind of works. I was skeptical. Let's remove the sketch. Okay, yeah, that's kind of working, isn't it? What do you think? Yeah?
I like it.
I think it's selling. And with a highlight on it, yeah, it's gonna look a lot better. Discord just died? What? Discord's dead. Who's gonna tell his parents? Oh. So we are going to add in some more of these. There we go. Not many more though. Whoops. I always forget that it'll make that connecting line. That doesn't really need to be there, because it's going to be behind the knight's head. But I'm going to put it there anyway. Okay, so then we need the light catchy side. So we'll put that on the right side of not all of them, but most of them, and especially the ones over on the right side of the tree. Slash shrub. Slash whatever. So we're going to turn the swatches back on, and we're going to get our tree highlight color. Oh, we'll do some with the lesser highlight. So they'll all get a highlight, but the ones over on the left side of the tree will get the slightly darker highlight. That's how we'll do that. Okay, so then we want to hide the swatch layer. And this we'll need a smaller brush for. And it's gonna go. You watch this though. This is like magic. I love this part. You just like pop it on there, and they just come to life. See how that happens? I probably went a little heavy-handed on this one though. There we go. Okay, my question is, do you think I should make that softer? Like, should the brush that I'm using be a little softer? I think yes. We're going to put the spacing back to 10 where it was, but I'm going to decrease the flow like this. And then this will be a little more of a, yeah. This will be more of an accent and less of the... It was feeling a little bit too much like the main story to me. And that's not really what you want with this. That's not enough though. So let's try 10% flow. Oh, I'm feeling the 10% flow. I'm feeling the flow. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Are you feeling the flow with me? Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The ones that I've popped the highlights on
Yeah.
makes such a huge difference. I love that part. Okay. Okay. Then we want to get the darker color. Actually, I'm even going to take away that one that I just did. And then we're going to take our darker color, which is there. And hide my swatches again. And do the same thing with these, just not as severe. Probably all the way down though. All the way down. There we go. Perfect. Right like that. Hide that sketch. See? There you go. You're kind of weird. I don't know that you should be here. But we're going to find out together. What if we just pop a little highlight on you? Do you feel better that way? If I could do it. Come on, Austin. There we go. Maybe I'll leave that. Maybe I do like that. No, he's going away. Goodbye, buddy. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Alright. Alright. Well, we have our vine system then. So all I have to do then is go to the tippy top of these and give them a nice hard edge where they get erased so that it looks more like they're being obscured, because right now they just kind of blur out of existence, which makes them feel like they're on top of everything. I don't want them to feel like they're behind everything though. The right way to do this, if you wanted to do this the right way, would be to take the brush that I used for the leaves and just kind of stamp a little leaf on top of every single one of these. But to do that in a way that doesn't look repetitive is not the easiest thing in the world, and I am not feeling patient right now. So I'm just going to take a little edge off of these. Oh. Would a brontosaurus wear a necktie at the shoulder end or the head end of their neck? I would say the shoulder end, because a tie is supposed to go on the collar of your shirt. Which I feel like they wouldn't have just a long collared shirt that goes all the way up to their head. I feel like that would be less than beneficial. Benzagon says shoulder too. We have a verdict, people. We have a verdict. Yeah, I just for the most part don't want these to feel like they're just dropped on top. And this gives it a little more of an end, where your eye will just kind of assume it's being obscured. When they all just round off at the top like that, it looks really bad. go. Not bad at all. And I'm not trying very hard, but I'm trying to follow along with the leaves that are existing already. In the hopes that that's going to sell my laziness here a little bit better. There you go. See how it just kind of feels more like it tucks up underneath that now? It's a subtle change, but it makes a difference. Yeah, it definitely made a difference for me. There are Twitch gift cards? I didn't know that was a thing either. Okay, so now, just for funsies, let's drop Hornet and Needle in there. Well, that's a thing. So let's put that there. We're gonna include the vines in that layer, or in the doorway shrub group. But there you go. I think that looks pretty cool. Okay. So then we've got the second shrub right there, which is a little muddy, but that's okay. Yeah, what do they do? Like, what do you get for, like, does it give you bits or something? Hmm. So let's pull our sketch up underneath everything so that everything that's done is hidden. So, oh, let's put the Hollow Knight head on also. I think I'm going to draw his cloak really quick. It's just money you can spend the same way you would a normal credit card, but exclusively on Twitch. All the fun of money without any of the freedom. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna smack the knight's cloak on here really quick. So that means we're picking a new color and a new texture. Because I don't want his to feel exactly like her dress. As much as I did like that color. Okay. That'll look a little more felt-like, I think. And for his cloak, we're going to go with a dark blue for the base color. So we're just going to fill all this in with that base blue. like that. Perfect. Just make sure it's all filled in. And then, oh, don't want to forget to put that on my swatches layer. Okay, and then we want a lighter version of that blue, like that. And this is where we want to really space the brush out. So this is going to be the highlight color, which we don't need very much of at all, but I do need it somewhat to kind of sell the fold here. I'm really not going to do much more than that, I don't think. I think that's going to be kind of it. Maybe touch it just a bit right there on the edge. Okay, and then we want almost black blue. Okay, that is just black. That is still just black. Sorry, I have a little bit of a glare on my color picker. There we go. Okay. Very warm. That's the color. That's the color right there. Okay. So then we want to take this and add a shadow. Oops. Austin draws on the sketch layer again. Okay. Back to this layer. That effect is really subtle, but it does seem to be working. And then if I go around the edge and I erase this stuff, we just want to give this its proper edge. Oh no. I drew that highlight on the sketch layer also. Crap. Okay. Okay, so we'll take that color again, go back to the correct layer. It should be on top anyway, so I guess that's kind of a blessing in disguise. Not too shabby there. Alright, so thank you, Phoebe. Alright. Like I said, I don't want much more than that in terms of the highlight. But now I do need to bring that all the way out to where the shoulder is. And then I can erase it so that it's in the right spot, really, is the main thing. Okay, I'm gonna mute this for a second, because she's gonna go nuts. Okay, sounds like we're good now. I am probably going to, I'm feeling a little under the weather today. So I'm probably going to cut things off here in a moment, because I'm really not feeling great right now. And I'd like to be able to come back tomorrow with full energy. So I'm gonna knock this cloak on here, and I'm actually gonna shut down. Sorry for the early shutdown, guys. It's hit me pretty hard. Your zoo is reopening? Oh God, that shouldn't be happening yet. So I will see you guys tomorrow. But thank you for hanging out with me. It was good to hang out with you guys for a little bit today. Sorry it was a short one. Tomorrow we will be actually playing Hollow Knight, so we're going to be going after the Radiance. We're going to do the Radiance fight. So I will see you guys tomorrow for that. I think that's going to be tons of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much.